obviously, a lot of our most anticipated movie for next year is James Gunn's Superman. Superman Legacy, well, it once was Superman Legacy. Now it's just Superman kicking off the DCU, finally seeing what James Gunn's going to be able to do with this character. And one of the things that we got early on about this movie was that Superman was going to have his companion with him, his Krypto, the super dog, was going to be joining this Superman adventure. And now, thanks to James Gunn, we have our first look. And if you look behind me, you can see it right there. We have our first look at the super dog, Krypto. And this comes to us from Deadline. And here's what they had to say. Superman director James Gunn shares first look at Krypto the super dog inspired by his own rescue. So this is the photo right here. You got Superman and Krypto chilling on what appears to be the moon, looking at Earth. And let me just say before we move on, I love this photo. I adore this photo. Now, I'm not going to act like I know about the Krypto, the super dog. I saw Super Pets, though I know that Dwayne Johnson once voiced him and all that kind of stuff. As far as him in the comics and his relationship with Superman and all that kind of stuff, I'm not really familiar with. But that's one of the things that I'm actually really excited about Superman and about this picture is we have had, you know, Christopher Reeve's Superman from the 70s into the 80s. We had Brandon Routh come into Superman Returns and try to continue the Christopher Reeve story with a grounded, more somber version of the character. It didn't really work for a lot of people. And then we had Man of Steel. We had Henry Cavill. Once again, a more grounded origin story of the character. He went on to do the DCEU. But we need something different from Superman. This feels a lot to me like when they did Spider-Man Homecoming, where we had Tobey Maguire, then we had Andrew Garfield. We had seen Spider-Man so many times on the big screen at that point that they needed to do something fresh and different and unique. And so they had the whole angle with Tony Stark and the suit from Tony Stark and just made Spider-Man stand out and made him different. This feels like that's what James Gunn is attempting to do with his Superman, to make him definitive as his Superman. The fact that we've never seen Krypto the dog with Superman, that's something new, that's something fresh. And just this image alone brings so much enlightenment and joy, and just it looks like fun, and it looks lighthearted and colorful. And if this is the kind of imagery we're going to get in this movie, if this is the kind of vibe that he's going for, I'm all for it. I'm super excited to see what he does with this movie. But going forward, let's talk more about Krypto the Super Dog. It says Krypto the Super Dog of DC Comics will appear in James Gunn's upcoming Superman movie. His first appearance in live-action film thanks to Ozzo, Gunn's own canine best friend. In a touching post on social media, Gunn described how his own rescue pup inspired him to include the character in the upcoming film set for release on July 11, 2025. Krypto was inspired by our dog Ozzo, who was adopted shortly after I started writing Superman, Gunn wrote on Twitter. Ozzo, who came from a hoarding situation in a backyard with 60 other dogs and never knew human beings, was problematic to say the least. He immediately came in and destroyed our home, our shoes, our furniture. He even ate my laptop. It took a long time before he would even let us touch him. Gunn then remembers thinking, gosh, how difficult would it be if Ozu had superpowers? And thus, Krypto came into the script and changed the shape of the story as Ozu was changing my life, he continues. What better time to debate the not-so-good good boy Krypto than hashtag Adopt a Shelter Dog Month? By the way, Ozu today is fairly often a very good boy. The first look at the character in a motion image shows David Cornsett Superman sitting on the moon alongside Krypto looking out at Earth. I just love everything about this. One of the things that I really love about James Gunn, there's a couple things I really love about James Gunn, and it's all evident here. All evident here. And it was evident in like his Guardians films and stuff too. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's not afraid to show his emotion, and he takes from his personal life to inspire his art. And those are some of my favorite aspects of a creator, of a director, when they infuse that into their movies. And that's what I feel we are getting here with Superman from James Gunn. And just knowing this backstory and how this Krypto idea of placing him in the movie with Superman, the nugget that birthed this idea, just knowing that too makes me love this image and this idea even more. And I love that James Gunn, even though he's taken over DC Studios, he's a CEO. I love how he's still personal with the fans. I love how he still gives us so much insight because it really does make me, as a film fan, even more connected to his piece of work when he lets us in like that. So I've seen a couple people online worried that Krypto's not going to fit into the vibe of the movie. It's going to be weird. It's not going to work in live action. I trust James Gunn. I like that he has a reasoning behind it. I like that he had inspiration behind it. I love that he's willing to tell us about the inspiration and get personal in his life, which I think is going to just bleed into this movie as well. Everything that I've seen from this movie has me excited. I'm so excited for Superman to come out next year. Can't wait for a trailer, and I hope we get to see this dog and Superman in action once that comes about.